Go ahead is believing to make each day a brighter day. It is showing everyone that we can all be heroes. It's those small acts that go a long way. Go ahead is our determination to rise. Going ahead is our courage to do something new. It is our faith to start all over again. Go ahead is never giving up in the face of adversity. It means growing our own. It is making the most of what we have. Going ahead is us changing our communities. It is supporting each other where we can. To go ahead. Now, that is the Kenyan spirit.
Our esteemed KCB Biashara Club customers, KCB Director, Retail Banking, Mrs. Anastasia Kimtai, our discussion lead, Mr. David Tanki, all KCB staff present, good morning. Thank you for honoring us with your presence this morning. We are delighted that you could join us from across the country and from various parts of the world for this final webinar of 2021. Today, we are taking stock of 2021. Some housekeeping before we start. Ensure that you have good connectivity to follow the event smoothly. And if you have trouble seeing a speaker, or kindly leave the meeting and rejoin using the same link. I encourage you to participate on the chat room at the extreme right of your screen and use that chat to share your lessons from 2021 Biashara Club webinars. It is my honor to moderate this event. My name is Naomi Mbele, and on behalf of KCB Bank and KCB Biashara Club, I welcome you to this very last webinar of 2021. Biashara Club is a non-financial services offered to KCB customers. We believe that starting or growing a business should not be a painful journey. So through the club, KCB Bank offers an all-access pass to business development skills, expert training, coaching, mentoring, and the networks that are needed to get any business off the ground or take it to the next level. Over the past 10 years, the club has partnered and supported thousands of MSMEs across the East Africa region. So we take pride in the enablement of entrepreneurs to attain new levels of operational efficiency, profitability, and sustainability, having gained insights from the training workshops and webinars, networking events, and business trips. This year, 2021, we have hosted over 80 webinars online and have had face-to-face interactions with members of the club through 100 customer clinics across the country. Once again, thank you very much for being part of this webinar. Prepare yourself to be challenged and to be inspired as we take stock of 2021. Karibuni. It is now my honor and privilege to welcome KCB Bank Kenya Director Retail Banking, Mrs. Anastasia Kimtai, to deliver the opening remarks.
our keynote speaker and discussion lead, LandX Africa CEO, Levy. Thank you. Our esteemed valued customers. Oh, you know, once you are used to non-physical meeting, you forget to ensure that the tools in front of you are live. So our keynote speaker and lead discussion, LandX Africa CEO, Levy Tanki, our esteemed customers, valued customers, KCB colleagues, and the media. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. It's indeed a very great pleasure to be here today for a moment to interact with you. And I want to begin by thanking you for entrusting us with your business and for allowing us to be part of your journey. Our group CEO and MD Joshua Igara could not make it today, for he has an early engagement, and for those of us who've been able to listen to the radio, he is actually on radio right now, talking to all the MSME in ways we can enable your business growth and champion MSME across our country. So receive his greetings. We recognize the key role that small and medium enterprises play in economic development, and we therefore strive to support this sector with every necessary tool that is required. That's why we put up the Biashara Club platform, and we continue to roll out initiatives to walk the journey with you. That's our commitment. Winning with you as our MSME customers, businesses such as yours are what keeps the country moving. You employ an estimated of 80% of the workforce in both the formal and informal sectors, supporting thousands of families and livelihood in one way or another. You are very, very important and key for our economic growth. Unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, it brought with it economic constraint that ravaged all sectors of the global economy. And unlike big corporates, MSME have limited cash reserves and a less capacity to manage commercial pressures compared to established corporations. And this put into context the reason why we are having this session today, which we have dubbed Taking Stock of 2021 and 2022 Outlook. As a bank, we are guided by our Beyond Banking strategy, which seeks to put our customers first with leading value propositions. Toward this, the board did identify the micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, as a key area of focus, as the sector holds a lot of weight to the recovery of our economy and in the coming years. Over the past years, the bank has invested in MSMEs, and we would like to remind you that you can rely on us to deliver top-notch solutions in a timely manner, especially at this critical point when businesses are facing challenges in assessing financial services while trying to recover from the repercussion of COVID-19. We have therefore launched a campaign dubbed Partner Kwa Ground to demonstrate our commitment to MSMEs and all efforts the bank is putting in place to support this sector. Beyond the campaign, we have enhanced our internal processes to ensure that you get the best services with quick turnaround time across our branch network and our various touch points. We have, for example, ensured that all customer-facing teams are trained on our MSME value proposition, covering areas such as credit scoring, sustainability, women value proposition, and lending. And I'm very thrilled to see that among our audience today, we have women in business represented. Well done. Looking forward, this session today is a testament that we are committed to walking the journey with our customers and enable you to not only survive, but thrive in these economic times. We will continue to provide such trainings to ensure we equip our customers with the proper skills and tools to grow their businesses. I ask you to talk to us for all your financials and non-financial needs, as we'll be able to design tailor-made solutions for your specific businesses. Let us continue to be resilient and optimistic about the future as we remain committed to building our business growth and helping deliver on our contribution towards economic growth. With those few remarks, allow me to end here. I hope you will find this session useful as the team is well trained on this. Let us learn from our experts and take advantage of their availability. Thank you so much and God bless.
Thank you very much, Anastasia, for those enlightening insights. We will now, in a short time, be listening to the panel of MSMEs in different sectors. In the meantime, I encourage you to keep engaging on the chat to share your lessons from the 2021 Biashara Club webinars. We also have a team online ready to respond to any questions that you may have. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. David Tanki, who will lead the discussion with the MSMEs. Mr. Tanki is a renowned speaker and the executive director of LANX Africa. He sits in the board of FEP Holdings Limited and Regent Group. Tanki is a business improvement and strategy consultant with a bias for finance and investment, and has more than 20 years experience in consultancy and management and running his own enterprises. He has trained for various blue chip companies. He has partnered with Biashara Club for over 10 years. Over to you, Mr. Tanki.
Thank you, Naomi. And ladies and gentlemen, Karibuni sana. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you. And to the many of us who are watching virtually, I also want to take the opportunity to welcome you. I am very sure you will benefit immensely out of this discussion today. We have a team of business owners who will be sharing with us their experiences out of what has happened from 2020, 2021, and I'm sure out of that we shall be able to benefit quite a bit. But I also want to recognize at this point what the bank has done. You know, in the wake of COVID, the bank realized very early that business people needs to be supported, and they've done more than 160 webinars. Can you imagine? I think it is very exciting that we are having this meeting here today where we can see face to face. A lot of time in those 160 sessions, it has been webinars, and we are thrilled that Corona, I think it is coming to an end. And that our lives will finally get back to where it has been, if it ever will, but we will discuss and we'll know that as time goes by. So Karibuni sana, nice to see all of you. You are looking good despite COVID.
Yeah.
Thank you. Looking nice, well fed. I think it has been a good, I think it has been a good year. So I'll just speak on any one of you, and as you respond, please also tell us what business you do, so that we can pick up from there. So let's begin with Mary. I know you run a school. How was 2020, 2021 for you? What are some of the experiences and highlights that you can be able to share with us?
Thank you very much, David, and good morning, everyone. My name is Mary Olubai. I run 3 schools, different levels, different ages. Director of St. Nicholas Junior Academy, St. Nicholas Teachers Training College, and St. Nicholas College of Professional Studies. I'm actually wearing a second hat. I also serve in the Kenya Private Schools Association in the leadership. And so having said that, I said that the three institutions had have different ages. So the first one was okay. The primary school is okay. The college is okay. The other one was very young when COVID checked in. So I must say that it was one of the most trying time that you are a director of nothing. You call yourself a director, but you have no school to direct, because I think we were the hardest hit. We went home on a Friday for a normal weekend, and that Sunday it was announced that we are not coming back. And so we thought it is just a breather for 2 weeks, but we all know what happened. And so you have staff that you must sustain, you have staff that you must pay, and you have no money because it was again end of the term, where we were used to after this month, next month you're going to have money. And so everybody sent their staff on unpaid leave. I was not left out. Now, the most interesting thing is when I called my staff to send them on unpaid leave, I was unable to. I looked at their faces and everybody's looking at you and wondering, how can you tell us to go home? And so what I did, I simply told them, I'll look for money. And whenever that money will come, that will be the last pay that we shall have for ourselves. And so when I looked at myself, I knew I didn't have money. And I said, this is the time you know who your friends are. And I went to the bank, KCB Bank, and I told them, can I have an OD? And my relationship manager asked, OD this time for what? I said, I need to pay my staff. He said, really? I said, yes. So how are you going to pay us back? I said, the schools will reopen. And that's how we went. We got money, we paid our staff, and we beat each other by. However, 2 weeks later, we realized that that is not sustainable. And so we got thinking, digital, how do we do this? So we started thinking about blended learning. And we all went through, nobody knew about digital. We knew just the basic IT skills. But we said, let's do something. You'd rather remain rolling. And I must say that at that point, one of the things that I realized that it is easier to continue and it is easier to start a business than restart. And so we organized ourselves. We had our webinars, what everybody was calling Zoom classes. Others will tell you there's Meet, there's Google Meet. So there was all blend, a mixture of all of them. And we said, we are going to do it. We went ahead, we enrolled, we started, but somewhere the government again said, what? Everybody will repeat. So now again, we're in another one, from full house to again, we're brought down. But we want to say that we did not give up. We said until, even if we have one learner, we are going to carry on with the blended education. And that again is what we sold to our members of the Kenya Private Schools Association that keep going, so that at the end of the day, you are moving and you're offering some education. So it was not easy, but we thank God we are here today. Asante.
Wow, wow, wow. Thanks for that. I think it's very exciting to hear how you have navigated up to this point. When I'm ready, I've been listening to Mary. I don't know whether you have similar experiences in your line of business.
Oh, thank you, David. Yes, my name is Mr. Moradi, and I'm in the branding business. And I can say we are also affected very much, because I remember it was a Friday, I had about 13 good orders. And by Monday, I was left with 3. And by Wednesday, I had no work. And it was very tough. And I told my team, you know what? We have to adapt and adjust to what is going on. You know, most people do events and they'll use banners, they'll use notebooks. Schools are our customers. Every customer cut their budget on branding, so you can imagine. So I told them, I'm going to reduce your salary a bit, but let's try and look for work to do. We even diversified. I started branding masks, started selling masks, looking for a way to survive. But by God's grace, we are here today. And it is now picking up. KCB have been very good to us because they really helped us during that season. They were patient with us. They listened to us. They responded very quickly. Above all else, the trainings were very excellent because they were tailor-made for us. And we were being taught how to manage our money when we have little resources, how to be able to navigate through the times, and it was wonderful. So I really thank KCB for that. But moving forward, I really hope that we'll still continue and it will really help us. Thank you.
Wow, so it is working, notwithstanding the disruption that COVID came up with. Nzioki, in the world of consultancy, I'm sure you are doing very well. It looks like. Can you tell us your experience?
Thank you very much, Mr. Tanki. And literally, when people talk about your reggae being stopped, 2020 was that year when a lot of reggaes were being stopped. And I can remember from 2019, I had very grand plans for 2020. One, I had a client from the US who was planning on introducing university, here in Africa and Kenya, to be specific. But then I didn't know how we were going to navigate through that transition. But as 2020 approached and COVID, was declared to be a pandemic, we began to think, how do we now switch the mode of doing business? And luckily for us, because of the technologies that are available in the US, we were able to leapfrog and transfer the same here in Kenya. So I can say, actually, I was one of those very first people that was helping institutions to switch to online learning based on the experience that I had gotten from my US client. The other thing, I had a client whom we had signed a contract for about a year. Luckily for me, that contract was not canceled. So what we did is we went back and renegotiated, and they even changed the mode of operations for his business. So he went more online, more digital, and we thank God for the banks for the support that they gave to organizations, because customers and clients, even when there was no movement, they were able to transact digitally. Clients were able to pay digitally. And I think that ecosystem, the support, from the bank, from the clients, and also from, being proactive and also being very strategic in terms of how you are navigating change, really helped, in my case, in the consulting sector. The other thing, I had very grand plans, and I would say probably 70% of those plans were cut down. So I was only left with like 30% of, the projects that I was implementing. But, as 2020 approached, I have seen, a lot of changes because, the world is opening up. Part of my work involves traveling a lot because of, the nature of my clients. So let's say from February, I've been able to travel. I've been able to do business outside the country. And, I think being able to understand what are the dynamics and what is it that you need to do at that particular time, rather than, thinking your lights have been switched off. Instead of looking for a candle, you just say, wow, what am I going to do? So when, when we find ourselves in situations like the one that we have found ourselves from 2020, I think the thing is we need to be ready, and we need to be thinking strategically, not being comfortable, because the fact that COVID-19 has taught us that even an empire can collapse. A whole empire can come down in a twinkling of an eye. So for you to be sustainable, because I think sustainability is a very key aspect of, of business. And as we approach 2022 and beyond, businesses should take very seriously the concept of sustainability. When you are doing business, even if you are prospering and it's booming, you need to think about, how do I sustain my business, and being agile, in terms of being able to adapt, being able to switch, and also to, have a foresight on what might happen in the future. In training, we talk about simulations. And the reason why we do simulations is to imagine, if this happened, then what happens? So I think it's not the time to sit pretty, and COVID-19 has taught us that we need to constantly be thinking, how do we improve? what technologies are out there, what services are out there. For example, what are the banks doing in terms of supporting your businesses, and also in terms of relationships. I think now virtually all the branches in KCB have a relationship manager. Do you have a relationship with that person? And also having a tight relationship with your client, it helps a lot, rather than just having a kind of transactional kind of engagement. It's good to be transformational, and also being very intentional about knowing your client, getting to know your customers, and also understanding what is going on around your businesses and the changes that you need to make. That helped me a lot as a person, and I think it can help others as well.
Thank you very much, Nzioki, and that is very helpful indeed. Listening to Mary and Moradi and Nzioki, it looks like 2021 was a very good year. And guys, I've had a very nice time. But from a family perspective, Mildred and Nick, there was a lot of news being peddled around that the pressure was so much that couples who are condemned to sit together in the house, some of them started fighting. There was a lot of pressure. I was trying to see if you have marks on your face, but it looks like you guys are okay. Maybe Mildred, you can tell us the experience of running a family business. I know all of our businesses are family, but for the benefit of the fact that Mildred and Nicholas are here, I think you can share with us your experience of running a family business with the many challenges that were there and all the disruption that came about. What were the takeaways that you can share with us?
Thank you very much, David. My name is Mildred Wafula, and I'm the CEO of Third Eye Packaging Limited. I work together with my husband, who is my greatest support. Third Eye was actually born this year, 2021. I've been in employment for 12 years. I left employment in 2020, December. And when I left employment, that's when now COVID had reached its peak. And so I asked myself, should I really look for another job, or should I just go straight to business? And so with the help of my family, we made a decision that, yes, I was ready to start off a business. And being in the industry that I was in the packaging industry, and I had a wealth of experience. We decided to start off Third Eye Packaging Limited. So basically what we do is give packaging solutions to manufacturing people. We deal with different sectors. We deal with horticulture, FMCG, e-commerce. So basically we work together with our clients from the development stage up to the time the product is actualized, designing of the packaging material and all. So in 2020, the reason why I had to make that decision to move out of employment, it's because there's so much pressure. And remember, that's a time that we were all working from home. At that time, I just gotten my twins, boys. So I felt like I was being overwhelmed. I didn't have time for my family. I was always in Zoom meetings. I was doing reports. And the position I was in, it was basically sales, and there was lots of reports to submit. I didn't even have time to sleep, So I decided, no, I think it was time. With the wealth of experience I'd gained throughout the years, I decided to start off Third Eye Packaging Limited. And it was really easy, I would say, because considering that everyone had gotten used to working from home, and also from my position, I'd really interacted with so many customers. It was very easy. It was like a seamless transition, okay? So the customers that I used to deal with are the same customers who were looking for me when I started Third Eye Packaging Limited. So I'd say it was quite seamless, and that's how we are up to today. And that's why Third Eye Packaging is still here to date. And I want to thank KCB because you really took us in very well. And yeah, you really worked with us. This is our 9th month, and we are happy as a family.
Wow. Congratulations for the twins, by the way.
Thank you.
It looks like the Partner Kwa Ground campaign is really, really working. We are excited to hear that. And we thank the bank for the support that is offering to very many business people. And those that are watching virtually and following the discussion virtually, you can hear, there's a lot that is happening. You don't have to resign yourself because of the challenges that may be there. Business people are becoming very innovative, very creative, and they are coming up with amazing, amazing solutions for their businesses. Thanks so much, Mildred, for that. Let's hear from the husband. My brother, congrats for the twins. And the support. I look at your wife's face as she's talking, and it looks the support is real. Maybe you can tell us from the perspective of being a support to a business that you are not there on a full-time basis. Maybe you can tell us what is it that you actually do, what amounts to support, because I know there are very many of our viewers, of our listeners, of club members who are in a similar position. They are also supporting their spouses, and maybe it will help to just know what is it, what amounts to support, and what has been your experience over the last 9 months.
My name is Nicholas Mkele. I'm non-executive director at Third Eye Packaging. My current role is also I'm a finance director at a financial services company. So for us and for Third Eye, I think we had the benefit that I have worked in leadership roles in financial services businesses. So it puts me in a position where I'm able to guide on strategy, on financial management, and we found that basically made a difference. As Mildred has, my wife has said, so yeah, last year was tough. Sitting in a small little space, you have little babies, you have older babies who are going to school, they're trying to do their Zoom classes. And when you're confined to a little space, because a lot of people are not going out at that point, going to malls or going even to parks. So you're in a little space, just operating within that environment. And that's when you start to realize, yeah, it really plays on your mind and makes things a little difficult, yeah. And at the same time, we're having to think about her situation, struggling with the babies. So as her spouse, it's making sure she has adequate support in terms of the kids. And yeah, she struggled, but also making sure that she can rest at certain points of time during the day. And so, yeah, we went to that and just discussing and saying, from a spousal perspective, looking at what are the strengths of your spouse. I think that's very, very important. Yeah. Asking that you've been in employment for 5 years, you've been in employment for 10 years, maybe you've not even been in employment. It's what is someone's talent? What are their strong points? Yeah. And once you identify that and the strengths people have, because most people, a lot of people, maybe everyone has a strength. Yeah. And so it was just looking and saying, sales is your strength. Customers love talking to you. They find that you offer them a solution, and maybe that's the direction you need to go. Yeah. And so it was a bit of a gamble, but it almost paid off immediately. Yeah. Which was quite interesting. So as I said, so I play a non-executive role. It's also about realizing people's strength and allowing people to work in their spaces rather than interfering. So we don't get into, I don't interfere in how she runs the business. I advise, which effectively is what a non-executive director does. And I say, you know what, I think this is what I think. Have you looked at this? Yeah, should we be doing this instead of this? And that's how we go about it. And also at the same time, it's not putting emotion on it. So if we have had an argument about something else within the house that is not about the business, it doesn't need to extend to the business. The business still needs to run. So it's just making sure I offer that support for the business to continue to operate.
Wow. Okay, that's very encouraging and very exciting to hear. So, was there a time that you almost quarreled and it affected?
I'm sure every family has their arguments, but no, I mean, that's a decision. That's a conscious decision we made.
Okay.
That business has to, go on and should run uninterfered, and we have to support each other in every way. When someone, your spouse is successful, your brother is successful, then you should also be happy for them. Yeah. So there's no day that customers were not served because we had an argument.
Excellent. Christine, as a research scientist or consulting the research area, how was your experience in 2021?
Thank you very much, David. And good morning, everyone. Dr. Christina Mwachari. I am a researcher as well as a clinical microbiologist. So if the research teams experienced twofold effects from the pandemic itself. So what it meant for the studies that were already ongoing, it meant that there's going to be a pause, because most researchers were either somewhat at the enrollment stage where you have to go and recruit clients to your study. But you can imagine with all those restrictions, given the lockdown that was happening, then you couldn't reach out to your, let me call them clients, so that you could enroll them to the study. So what happened to some of the research studies had to pause. Some actually had to stop. And you can imagine, in terms of career development, you have worked so hard to get funding, and funding has completely continued to dwindle. So you have been successful in getting this funding, but given the pandemic, here comes a big challenge. And what you have to do is that you now have to think of what other things to do that you could do virtually. Because now you cannot go to the field, there's all these restrictions. So, David, that's what happened to the studies that were ongoing. However, there's always an opportunity in, the new and emerging diseases. So for researchers, we had to be, as myself being in the COVID-19 vaccination program, and talk to my colleagues who have already clinical trial infrastructure that's running. And this was a great opportunity to initiate a study and to access funds that were now looking to support COVID-19 clinical trials on the new vaccines, for instance. So for those scientists in research, I tell you, it really went well for them. It was low-lying fruit, but quickly to come up as a researcher, put up a proposal, get funding, and then roll out, because then the field is open. There are enough people to enroll into your study. So that in the research world, I would say that's what happened. It was twofold. It was two-sided. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Christine.
Yes.
Initially, Dr. Susan, I thought there would be a lot of business for mental health. I mean, listening to these guys, looks like they're okay. So what has been your experience? Have you had business in 2021?
Thank you, David. I'm Dr. Susan Getao of Elewa Levy. What we do at Elewa Levy, we deal with issues of addictions, from gambling to chemical dependency, to what we call behavioral addictions, like pornography or sex. So we are addiction professionals. As 2020 came in, I had just opened my head office in Limuru town, which is a big office. How KCB came in was that they had supported me put up the business by giving me a loan. And therefore, I put up a state-of-the-art office because we feel that our clients should be in a comfortable place. And what happened when COVID came, everybody went into fear. A lot of things changed instantaneously. Fear of the unknown. People who had already mental health issues, they escalated. People who had drinking problem or alcohol problem, actually some of my clients relapsed. Relapse is meaning they went back to drinking. And because we were meeting, we had a group of people who were supporting each other in my office. I have a conference, they couldn't meet anymore. So most of them didn't have any support for them to maintain their sobriety. I work with schools a lot and learning institution because we are learning that alcohol and drug use hinders learning. And therefore, because schools closed, we were forced also to close for those 6 months. So I had to close 3 offices. I have 3 offices. My head office in Limuru, my Kiambu office at Ndegwa, and an office in Chuka, Tharaka Nithi, meaning have employees. So you can imagine you had to close down, tell these people that this is where we are now, and end of this month, that was in March, I don't think April I'll be able to pay you based on what was going on. So I did what Mary did, because I still felt, especially coming from a point of a psychologist, you needed to support your own in these hard times. So KCB came in again. I got my OD. I was able to maintain my workers for some time. I also went, I train internationally. I'm a global master trainer. How KCB has helped me is that I have a debit card that works everywhere in the world, whether I'm in Vienna, whether I'm in Nigeria, whether I'm in South Africa. I've never had issues that I won't get anything, whether my flights change. So for me, KCB has been a strong partner and supported us as Elewa Levy. And of course, having that name, when I first joined KCB, everybody wanted to know what is Elewa Levy. And we know there's a lot of stigma when it comes to mental health and addiction. So for us, later on after the COVID, when people were coming out, we had come up with plans of helping people to maintain healthy mental health status. And of course, deal with issues that came up, serious issues of addictions. That time people they were locked down. So what you're calling GBV was there, crime and funny things that were related to alcohol and substance use. So for us, it was bad, but then again, after school opened, we were able to stabilize and we are still functioning and we are doing a lot of prevention science for issues of substance use, especially in schools. So for me, KCB has been a strong partner in a lot of things. They have supported me to a point that I have a very nice ride. I have a very nice car that I got from KCB, so that when I appear somewhere, people say, oh, Daktari is here, unlike before. Thank you.
Wow. So indeed, KCB has been a lifesaver.
Yes, for me.
Very exciting to hear that. Josephine, you know, everybody's talking about reducing headcount, you know, sending employees away. What is your take and what is the experience of 2021? What have you experienced in the course of helping your clients or even in your own organization?
Thank you very much, Mr. Tanki, and thank you to KCB for giving us this platform. My name is Josephine Irungo. I'm a HR practitioner with Prestige HR Engine and an award winner with Women in Business under the category of Best in Human Resource Management 2019. To me, what I can say, it was a shock. That was last year. It was a culture shock because I consult with companies, and also companies, to them, it was as well a culture shock and fear, because now here comes that there was a ruling that everyone has to work, or employees have to work from home. And some companies never had such a policy. So basically they didn't know how to go about it. And the calls were left, right, center. Josephine advised us on this to a point that I could not even invoice or charge them because they are already complaining of the business has gone down. They are not selling because some of my clients are in manufacturing industry, others are in IT, others are in finance. And so it was more of advisors how we are going to go about it. And you can imagine when employees are working from home, how are you going to monitor them? So again, that was quite a bug, because the employers didn't know how to go about, monitoring, and that falls under performance management. How will they get to rate that an employee is working and all that? Because someone can just switch on a Zoom or Google Meet, now, you just leave a quote and you leave, So basically I can say it was a shake, and it being the first quarter of the year, we had good business. I had several sittings and pitching, beautiful contracts that were to come through, but apparently all were cut short because now organization could not commit because they didn't know the tomorrow, so they could not commit. And that was quite, I can say it was a downfall, but basically I went now into advisory advisory function or advisory service, because now including employees, they didn't know how to go about it. They also had fear of losing their jobs, of which some lost their jobs. So they didn't know how to go about, how would they feed their family and all that. So I can say it fell to advising organizations how to go about their employee restructuring, laying off, there's no business, cut off salary, avoiding litigations because of unfair dismissals or terminations and all that. But business went down. That's what I would say. Consulting businesses went down because we work with organizations partnering and collaborating with them because of the employees. Here comes employees at home, So it was quite a challenge. It was quite a challenge.
Wow. This is amazing. I believe the viewers are also getting tips on how to be able to navigate and manage themselves even as we plan for 2022. I think before we take a small break, we can hear from Franklin what his experience has been.
Thank you, Mr. Tanki. I'm Franklin. I run a company by the name Fagim Services, an hardware, and a business manager in Baraka Investment. Last year was really a challenge to us because you can imagine the government started to work from home, and most of our customers usually come to my shop so that they can order for their goods. Then what we did, I organized my people and then I asked them what to do. Then the government said we should work from home. What are we going to do? Then my employees told me that, okay, boss, unaweza tutuma nyumbani tu lakini kuna tuangalia kidogo. And then I said, no, we would go home. We just remain. And then I talked to the bank. This bank is my bank, and I really love it because it really helped me during the COVID era. And every month I was financed of about 200,000 every month. Wow. Let me say. And then I was to pay in the 1 month time. The period was shorted. So I was financed 200,000 and then I was to pay within that days time period. I managed to do so. What I did, I visited all my clients, existing clients, and then told them it was possible to work even during this COVID hour because when they order their goods, I will be able to deliver at their convenient zones. And then instead of sending my employees back, I also employed another 2 for the transport purposes so that they can reach our clients at their places of residence because they usually work when they are at home. And actually, we grew up. We didn't lose any of our customer, and we didn't even lose our employees, and I'm still working. And I thank the bank because after the COVID, when this 2021 came in, the bank guys visited my office, and then we had a talk. We shared with them how the challenges was, and then they called me, and then they tipped me again, and then they gave me a lot of money. And that's why you can see my business now is growing dramatically. And I'd say thank you for this bank because for the far we are, it is because of your support. So I thank God for that, and I say thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will take, actually we will not even take a break. We will watch a short clip. And then when we come back, we will hear from Nairobi and from Stephen, and then we get to know what are the plans for 2021. Thank you.
Biashara Club is the link that entrepreneurs require to move far. We give the members an opportunity to connect with other like-minded entrepreneurs. They discuss on how to better their businesses, the lessons they have learned along the way, become each other's customers or even suppliers. We do capacity building to ensure our entrepreneurs are commercially aware of what's going on around them, how the environment is constantly changing, how regulations are going to affect their businesses. Trainings on soft skills, management, leadership, and succession planning, ensuring our businesses are inspiration and will be going concerns for centuries to come. We expose entrepreneurs to new markets, see how things are done differently, and creation of new ideas, how they can export or import, forming regional and international partnerships. Our vision is to grow a network of people who we walk with on their entrepreneurial journeys to see them expand and succeed.
Welcome back. I think we've heard quite a bit about the experiences of 2021, and what excites me is the fact that business people have come up with very innovative, very creative solutions for their businesses. And what also excites me is the fact that the bank has come in very, very closely to support almost all of us, according to your testimonials, in terms of moving forward. And I think we are grateful to the bank. We have partnered with our ground campaign that is helping businesses across this country. And you don't have to suffer. If your business is going through a challenge, if you have an experience of some sort, you have heard from the panelists that there is help. There is a very near help through the bank that you can be able to benefit from. So you can go to your branch, you can go to your relationship manager, and they'll be able to support you. Now, Wairobi, possibly you can do two things for us. You can tell us what your experience was in 2021 and how you look at all your plans for 2022.
Okay, everyone, I'm happy. I'm Frederick Wairobi. I operate a company called Combine Kenya. The trade name is Combine Repair Pole Pole, but the name comes from Combine. It's all about connecting people and together, all the business people. That's where we come up with my team. But I respect everybody, the decision, everybody, even staff, because you have to integrate even your staff in your business in order to move forward. One of the challenges we operate e-commerce, we understand the e-commerce, the space of the online is still big and large. We can accommodate everybody. Now, numbers of issues I can raise, we get fire. Remember, everybody say online is doing much better, but it's not the case at the beginning, because the buying power, it went down. Automatically, the buying power went down. Now you have to think and strategize and think about what can you accommodate where people are not ready. They don't have that cash to buy. You already have displayed your items in the website and everything, and you get the right images and everything is everything. But these people, they don't have money. So I have to customize the website. I have to drop it down and put it down. Then I come with a special package for everybody, whereby the customer has ability to pay in a flexible manner, whereby it's in a period of 90 days. So you have to increase the same amount of the item. If, for example, you need a TV, the customer has continue to pay the payment until they've completed, then we deliver the item. Then we went further. We went to partner with the loyalty companies, or which is really in Kenya. We integrated that icon to the customers in order to them they can pay an order with 0 cent, because already they are getting the loyalty. So that's the movement and what we did. Then with the partnership about the shipping. Remember, online space has a lot of challenges in terms of we are dealing with someone you're not seeing in the present. Now the customer have to buy the trust. The item will be delivered where already to the destination. So you have to be very strong in terms of service delivery and speak to you have to be strict with your issue when it comes to online business. But now fairly, we get a fair share. We pull it down the website and put it that element of issue of flexibility. That one pushed us in a very big way compared to our competitors. Now, also that about the competitors, remember our competitors, they usually help you to, they already scratched the surface. So every time I can talk about any business person, I'm a new one. Kindly, when you see your competitor, don't look like in an eye, this person wants to take my share. But remember, this person already have scratched the surface for you. So you can big match and sit down and try to come up with a fantastic package for your customers. Now for that, in 2021 or 2022, we are still having a very huge, I can tell everybody, if you are in a business, regardless of you are doing hardware or anything, the opportunity in the online space is still larger enough for everybody. Remember, the customer, the connectivity of the internet, still we are ranging almost 20 million on Kenyans, they use their mobile phone. So it shows us very clear where the indication, the online space is still strong, the connectivity and good network. So everybody in Apple, you can consider to put some few things in online. One, in that matter, you think about already Google has positioned yourself, have give us a free directory, which is called Google My Business. So if you have out there, try to register. It's a free things, because that one will help you to connect the local ICO around their place. Because everybody wants to search a chemist, they definitely will go for search engine, and already automatically they will find it. So to give you a free directory. A number of issues you have to remember. There is another called voice search, which is a very new 2021. If you look out, these are already the company are operating it voice search, whereby you just request for a name of organization, it pick it, it help you don't have to type it. That's something already stored in for you. You can look at. Also, you can invest in terms of the training. Remember, the digital space, you cannot come in where you need to get the right people to help you to push the agenda of the organization. So there is a lot of opportunity low-lying fruits below you. So if you can pick it online as an online business, and you online business owners, try to think about the online business, and that will push you in front of your customers.
Thank you so much. Very loaded information on what people can do. We appreciate that. Stephen, your experience in 2021 and what you will carry to 2022.
Thank you, David. My name is Stephen Boyer. I'm in property management, and I run a complementary business in security. My company is called Home Force Services Limited, and the complementary company is called Home Force Security. Well, it has been a good experience, I can say so. Reason being, I can quote my friend who's called Kinyanjui Nganga, who normally says that you are your mind. The way you perceive the world is determined by what is in your mind. And as a business person, the experience I had through the webinars was very interesting, because I absorbed a lot that I could apply in my business. Number one, I could easily register a business through other consultants, but running a business needs some skills. And these skills you cannot get from the background where you came from. Maybe you are an accountant or a doctor or an IT expert. There are people that have to tag you along to give you skills on how to run a business. Now, KCB was very helpful to me through those trainings by way of one, I learned on how to retain customers. When a customer walks to you, we normally assume that a customer cannot run away. But 2020, 2021, there are factors that made customer pull out. And you see, when a customer pulls out of a business, it becomes shaky. But we were taught on how to actually negotiate with customers in terms of when there are crises, because this is something that we never anticipated and nobody knew about it. Even the consultants, they never knew that there'll be a pandemic that will cause people to go down in business. Again, there are issues to do with debts and how you manage your capital. Normally, we think that when you have a lot of money, it's when your business is doing well. But money sometimes becomes sort of a disease because it blinds you. When you think you have a lot of money, you think your business is big. But how do you handle your money? Now, there is that aspect that I'm a business owner and I earn from the business. But how do I earn from the business? Do I just pull money out of the business and do my things? Or I meet my family expenses? KCB helped me to separate, to differentiate between my family finances and business finances. And when it comes to leadership of an entity, also KCB enlightened me, because as a vision bearer, sometimes you tend to know it all. And yet you have people that you've brought on board to help you, but you ignore them. You just say, do as I say. They follow you. But it is very dangerous, because at a time you can get sick and you have not empowered your people. So it means your business relies on you. And lastly, the issue about my personal health. It was surprising that we were told we normally ignore our health. We keep on chasing money. But you find that you chase money, then you're affected and you spend that money on health issues. So through KCB, I've become a hiker. I normally hike once in a month to keep fit. Because if you're not healthy, your business will not be healthy also. My take to 2022 is one. I like to encourage all entrepreneurs, if you have a chance to learn, kindly learn, because the more your business grows, there are challenges that will come into that business. And as a vision bearer, maybe you started that business and the vision you had was for 3 years. And the business has to go to a generation. The way people are saying here, they have a family business. You have to make sure that your family is brought into business to understand how the business is run, to prepare them for that business. And as much as you prepare them for that business, you have to show them what is your vision towards that vision. And now it's where the experts come in. The last session we had was about setting goals. Normally we set goals in January to make us happy. But I've discovered if you set goals when you are alone without an accountability partner, it becomes difficult to achieve them. An accountability partner will keep checking on you if they are short-term or long-term. So for me, 2022, I look for somebody who's not associated to me, a very different person, because when you become so friendly, whatever advice you are given turns out to be a joke. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. Zioka, there is business for you there.
Yeah.
Moradi, what are your takeaways to 2022?
Actually, David, thank you. Give me an opportunity to delve back to just 2018 when I joined Biashara Club. I was going to look for tenders because now I said my business is small. Now I want big business. And in our present Kenya, I can tell you, I really went around and I was not getting work. So one time I'm at Hurlingham and I saw these people are not queuing. Who are these people? So I asked, I was told this is Biashara Club, you pay 1,000, you join, you'll not queue, you'll get A, B, C, D, F, G. I said, I think I'm in the wrong group. So I changed, I went to Biashara Club. Then we started coming for training. And I love to network. And from there, I can say it changed my business. I've gotten many customers from Biashara Club. So I love to network. Like when we are here, I was just looking at everybody and I was seeing how can I be of help to them and how can they be of help to me. And it's really helped me. And in 2022, I'll still not go back to tendering. I'll just go to my people and look for work from them. And I'm sure that's how we'll be able to support one another. Maybe let me put a small NB. Last week, there was a client who is a SHA. I don't know if you understand when I say a SHA. Yes. I gave them a quote for doing diaries and what have you, but the following day he declined. So in my smart way, I tried to find out why. And the reason was that they went to another SHA who was actually paying, he was paying much more. So if we can make this a community where we support one another in business. For example, if I'm in branding, you can do your due diligence, make sure that I do good work, give me business. If I know that you have maybe like, I have somebody who has addiction, I will come to her and we support one another and we'll build a very strong community because of networking with one another. If we can do that, it will be really good, and that has really helped me. And thank you, Biashara Club, KCB. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Beautiful. And I see every Friday Nyambura encouraging us to advertise, even in the world that has been created. I think we should be able to take advantage of such opportunities to just scream and tell people about what you do. Josephine, you are 2022.
All right, thank you. My 2022, I'll just echo or second what my colleague has said. I'm looking into more collaboration because I'm a collaborator. So I'm looking at especially going more digital and marketing my organization, which is Pristine HR Engine, because I find that despite the fact that companies are now going back to physical or working from the office, there are still those that will still work from home. Yeah, they will do much on working online and all that. So for me, I'm looking at merging the two, because I've done more on physical, but what about the ones now will work online? Those are working with the employees that are working from home, or the companies that have let their employees work from home. So I'm looking at more into collaboration, because in Pristine HR Engine, we also do team building. And in 2020, we never did any team building because of the social distancing and all that. So I'm looking at how is it that we can carry the team building and do it online as well, because these are employees who are not coming together. They're only coming together virtually. Yeah. But how is it that they can, we can build them and still have that cohesion in organization? So I'm looking more on collaborating and giving advisory online, having a link, or into YouTube, but probably opening a different channel that I can reach organization. And thanks to KCB, the whole of this year, we have had so many training, so many webinars, and it is a matter of now implementing what KCB have taught us. And what my colleague has said, we just need to rotate the businesses or our passion within ourselves.
Wow.
That's how I'm looking at, because we have very many Biashara Club members that we don't need to go look for a doctor outside, even if it's a friend. And whereas we have a doctor with us, we don't need to go look for a recruiter outside and Josephine is here. Or we don't need to have go for a team building or do a salary restructuring, looking for a different company, whereas Josephine is here, So I'm looking at more of collaboration.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Mary, 2022, how is it looking like?
Yes, David, I must say that 2022 has never been brighter. We are one of the sectors that have actually reaped. It's the first time that we're having 4 terms in 1 year, as opposed to 3. The parents are not happy about that. I can even see my panel is here, but we are smiling all the way to the bank. Remember last year we were not smiling anywhere, so we're okay. But it's not about that. We are looking at quality and not quantity. And one of the things that I will say I took and I'm taking to the next year is that it is important for you to have multiple sources of income. I've learned to diversify. I've learned to plan for my succession planning, that tomorrow I may not be there. What happens to my business? I saw colleague directors pass away due to COVID. And at that point, you ask yourself, what happens to yourself? So apart from bringing in my family and making them shareholders, I've actually begun empowering some of my employees to take shares, so that should I not be there, there'll be no family wrangles, because that employee is going to have a share and therefore a say. And then there'll be seamless transition of business. The other thing I'm looking at is we do not have to do business on mortar and brick. We do not have to have the buildings. The virtual space is there. So I can have a school of 1,000 plus. And all I need is just digital platform. I can have a campus in Kisumu, St. Nicholas, in Naivasha, St. Nicholas, everywhere, even in the world beyond here. And the dream of actually opening a university is beginning to become a reality. I have business from the preschool, primary school, tertiary, and I'm like, okay, the next level can also be the university, but the growth again must be well calculated. I do not have raw ambitions. I am ambitious. And I must say that it is through KCB that I am where I am today as St. Nicholas. During the reopening, we're supposed to put in a lot of measures for COVID protection.
They gave us a water tank. They gave us dustbins. They gave us very many stations. And because of that, I said, even when you come, we have a lot of the signage. The signage is St. Nicholas, KCB, and stuff like that. So I'm looking at networking, collaboration, being a complementer, not a competitor. Given that, just like Josephine, in 2019, I had been awarded by the Women in Business, the award of fastest growing woman-led or owned business. And then my reggae was stopped. I just started in 2020 and in March was stopped, but that did not cow us. Actually, the resilience has become more. And I want to urge everybody who's in business to keep it going. Do not wait until you are stopped. And even if you are stopped, don't go home. Think, rethink, and redefine. And just say that it was a detour, have a detour mindset, look at your destination. Thank you.
Beautiful. Mildred, Mary wants to give part of her shares to, to employees. And now your husband is seated there and thinking, might that be a good idea? So please, maybe the two of you, what are you taking to 2022?
So for me, my main take for 2022 is to grow my customer base. As I mentioned earlier, we are 9 months old. And yes, I just need to increase my client base through networking because I know packaging is something that everyone wants. Everyone needs a carton. Everyone needs carrier bag. So I just need the networks. I need to advertise third-eye packaging, go more digitally so that people can get to know us more.
Beautiful. And you know, Moradi has marked you. Yes, Nick.
Yeah, so she's absolutely right. So it's growing our client base. But even as we grow our client base, it's we would like to extend into manufacturing, and it's good to know that this is the first meeting I think we've attended on Biashara Club, so we're glad to be here. So, and I like what Josephine said about trying to build within the club, the relationships within the club. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to getting support from KCB for what we would like to achieve in 2022.
Excellent, excellent. I think 2022, from what you're saying, is looking very, very bright. And
definitely.
Yeah. We all can't wait to get there.
Yeah.
Yes, frankly.
Yes. My 2022, I wish it to be greater because I know I made some strategies and I would like to open another branch because I would like to meet many customers here in Nairobi. And I want to be one of the pioneers of the people who are selling the constructing and building materials in the city. And I would like to open that business because I know the bank is here. And when I talk to them, I know they will listen to me. And I think we shall go further. Also, I would like to empower my employees so that they can even help me because me, myself, I cannot do it. I need their support so that we can meet more clients. And I think that by giving them some soft loans, I think I will make them happy and make them happy even to work more, even for the odd hours. And before I could do that, I request a bank. We have some challenges there down with this product, KCB Mtaani. KCB Mtaani, it has been a challenge to me, especially I give it to many others who I've shared with, because when you meet them, these guys, they ask you how much you want to withdraw, and when you talk of 50,000 or 10,000, they say no, you can. The minimum is 5,000, 2,000. So I think you can do something with these people, especially around Pangani and some areas of Isili. These people, they don't have money. They don't have money. In fact, they made us to walk for some miles to get those services. So please note on that. Other thing is we need to secure our businesses so that as we operate and we enjoy the huge money we are getting, or rather the benefits or the profits, minus the cover or the insurance, I think is nothing. Because expected the time we are nearing the election period, and we know how the area is and the community at large, we need to secure our businesses in having some insurances from the bank. I think the bank has that facility. They have already signed one. They even came to me the other day and we talked about the health care of myself, my family, and even to some of my employees. So I would urge you members, please, to think of insurance to insure your business in case of theft or fire or robberies and anything that may come on the way, because we don't know about tomorrow. But we know the challenges must be there. We cannot enjoy and just relax and say things are going well. No, there are some challenges affecting our businesses and even our lives. During the COVID era, we faced so many challenges because of lack of funds. You know, the school were opened out our notice, and then we could not get finances, and even we could not have, even we didn't have enough the close relationship with the bank. I think some of us, we could not make it. So we need to make a very good relation with our bank so that may keep us and give us an opportunity that may be able to work. For me, my take is, I wish you all the best and everybody to plan better for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Franklin. The good news is that, you know, this campaign, by the way, is real. So whatever challenges anybody has, take advantage of the campaign. You know, the Partner for Ground is a real campaign. You know, the bank is saying, we want to help you. We want to support you. We want to work with you. We want to hold your hand, you know, so that you don't stumble, so that you don't fall, so that you don't suffer. And therefore, it's a good initiative that I want to encourage all of us that are here and those that are watching from whichever part of this country or even the diaspora to take advantage of what the bank is doing. Thank you so much. Our research scientist, Christine, 2022, what are you taking with you to 2022?
Thank you very much, David. We've learned a lot from 2020, 2021, and I have three things. Being a researcher at KCB and being an advantage in having very good laboratory infrastructure. We know that COVID is just it's an eye-opener for emerging and re-emerging infections. So we don't know what else will come. So for KCB, we are strategizing ourselves as scientists to make sure that we strengthen the laboratories so that we detect, we are responsive in future when such another pandemic should come. So the molecular aspect, which is highly skilled technology, so that's one area. And secondly, to have those researchers trained, building skill, because we know moving forward, that is the technology that will be able to really pick up any re-emerging infection. And just like my colleagues have said, and KCB being a very good partner with KCB, getting loans, you know, for the staff as we require them is collaboration. You know, collaborate with the global health security teams to make sure that we are ready for the global health security agenda as a country. And, you know, KCB, and the last thing is that be strategic. You know, I'm sure you've all seen that the sanitizers that you're using from KCB. I think, I'm sure if you haven't, please look at the sanitizer that you're using. KCB to re-strategize and make sure that the production unit is very, advances to be able to produce locally. And if possible, get into the vaccination industry. Because moving forward, it is going to be preventive more than curative. And vaccines are just one of that big bullet that would protect one from re-emerging, particularly viruses. So vaccination, and we're hoping that KCB will come up with that industry locally so that we can also be competitive globally. Thank you very much.
I didn't know, Christine, that you are operating at the level of research at Cambridge. You know, I've heard our president saying that we will begin to manufacture vaccines for coronavirus. I assume that we're just a normal social research scientist. We wish you the best.
Thank you very much, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Daktari, you know, as we have always said, and actually it is on the news almost every other day, I think there is a lot of pressure that Kenyans have. I think and there is more pressure that business people have. Mary is celebrating that, you know, she has 4 terms in 1 year. We are suffering because 4 terms mean 4 school fees. And those are opportunities for pressure for Kenyans. And things are not moving as fast as we want as a people. Maybe from your mental health aspects or plans for 2022. I don't know what programs you have in place, what agenda you have for 2022, because certainly Kenyans are a very, very pressured people. Yeah.
Thank you, David. 2022 is looking bright for me. We have come up with programs where we are looking at teenagers' mental health, because we are learning that parents are not even aware of what these children are going through. So we have put in place programs, and we always say there is no health without mental health. We know in Kenya, the issue of mental health is very stigmatized. I worked in Mathare for 16 years before I resigned to go to private practice. And I remember every time I told people I worked in Mathare, they looked at me differently. You know, they were like, uko sawa? You know? So for me, 2022, I'm hoping to open an office in Nyeri County. And of course, Nyanza. I was in Nyanza on Sunday for a program. And they realized there's a lot of gap. People don't understand addiction and mental health, and the issue of stigma. And that's why, David, I was telling you, when I called myself Levy, even in the bank, my manager, when I went to sign in and told her, this is my documents for my organization, for my company, and she kept asking, you won't change it to Susan Getao? She just called it Susan Getao Consultancy. See, Levy. And for me, it made me, I was on the right track, because I need to help people understand addiction. So simply Levy. And therefore, I've become a force you need to reckon with, because now I work with NACADA. They recognize what I do. I'm well trained internationally, globally. And therefore, I want to have many other offices just to help our people. Basically training. Training is one side. I need to go more than doing what I do one-on-one therapy. I do a lot of radio shows on our local media, still talking about addictions. So for me, I hope in the future, after opening all these offices, maybe I need to open a radio station or a TV station just to get to people and help them understand what addiction is and how you can prevent it. As we are saying, prevention is always better than cure. So we need to go to prevention using the international standards, what we are calling universal prevention curriculum, which currently I'm doing. So that's where I'm going 2022. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be coming back to some of us to tell us some of the very specific things. I know Franklin mentioned that next year is indeed an election year. And of course, we need to prepare adequately. We need to be able to have foresight, not to expect chaos. We don't expect that chaos will be there, but just to be prepared as business people in terms of what are some of the things, some of the measures that we put in place in our businesses to mitigate, just in case, you know, anything will go that direction. So we'll come back to that in a short while. But my brother, 2022, you look like you'll go to America.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, just received an email yesterday telling me that I have been nominated for the most outstanding leadership award in terms of, you know, e-education and all that. So I'll be going to Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
In April.
Josephine, I told you I'm a professor.
And actually, yes, I work a lot with the Americans. So going to 2022, and I think I will echo what my colleagues have said, I'm looking more into collaborations, networking, partnerships, and also casting my net wider. You know, as Kenyans, I was talking to a Nigerian, and for most Nigerians who are in business, as much as you may think whatever you want to think about them, they don't think locally. They always think globally, internationally. And if you look at churches, for example, you know, Nigerians have a church that is all over the world. It's actually, they have a very big church in Kenya. So we as Kenyans, and, you know, speaking from, you know, on my own behalf, I think I will cast the net wider in terms of seeing what I can do beyond the borders. Because now with the emergence of technology, and one of our colleagues, you know, has spoken very candidly about utilizing technology to be able to enhance your business. And also looking at what are the available resources that can support you. For example, my sister is in HR. You know, you need to at least, you know, see what is happening across the border and see where you come in. And even for companies that are coming into Kenya that are looking into advice on how they can do, you know, a business in Kenya, the HR perspective and all that. So going to 2022, that's what I'm thinking. I need to be a little bit more smart, a little bit. So that means I will learn a lot. I also need to make sure that I network as much as possible. From the taxi drivers I'll meet when I travel to the business executives, because you never know, because I think opportunities come as a result of the people that we connect and the people that we interact with. So just be very open-minded, you know, and see opportunity in every person that you meet, and also see how you can make life better for others. Because, you know, from where we are sitting right now, our businesses are almost like social enterprises. You know, you look at the bank, they are saying partner for ground. You know, that would have looked like a political slogan before, but now it's coming to the banks. You know, they have noticed that they can sit pretty in their nice wooden offices and carpeted offices. They have to go to the ground and find out what is happening. Because we have a lot of folks, even in the grassroots, that have the resources, but they don't really have a partner who can manage them well for them. So as business people, as also, because I believe most of us are in professional businesses, we need to launch out, cast your net wide, and do not be afraid. You know, don't let fear overtake you of what may happen tomorrow. I think if you keep on doing your best each and every day, and also build a reputation of honesty and consistency and persistent, and above all, be resilient, you'll see your business grow. And that's what I hope to do going to 2022. Thank you.
Wow, wow, this is very amazing, by the way. I am, even myself, I'm learning quite a bit from all of you. And I'm very sure that our virtual participants, wherever they are, and by the way, you can be asking questions as we move on. Maybe there is something you want to know, you want to ask. We have a team of people who are waiting for your questions. Please do that. Feel free to do that. We will be very happy to engage with you in that manner. Coming back to you, Josephine, as a consultant, I know you've told us some of the things that you will do. You will seek for more collaborations. But you know, you also consult for other organizations.
Yes, I do.
What are these three things you will tell business people to do from a HR perspective?
Yes.
Yeah.
What I'll tell them to do is keep the focus.
Okay.
Keep the goal, work towards the goal, not to lose hope. And when it comes to focusing on, they need to have a guideline on what should happen. Because of course, as I told you, it was a culture shock. All organizations were so shocked about the tomorrow when the pandemic hit us, yeah? So they just need like to have a guideline. What if everything they are doing, everything they are cutting across, you will have a what if, a plan B. It's always say, don't focus on a plan B, just focus on a plan A that will just take you, you know, that will just take you up. But always have a plan. What if this happens? What if in every discussion in boardroom, what if these are, especially when it comes to 3-year goals, 3 years strategic plan, 5 years and so forth. What if? Always have that plan B. What if something happens? Yes, employees are working from home. What if? Yeah. What if they have like issues of we can't, the connectivity, no one, I mean, we fell sick, you know, what if one of their staff passes on, the succession planning and so forth. So always to have a what if in the year plans.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I think there is a lot that can be done from HR perspective. My brother Nairobi, you know, while you were talking, you outlined for us a number of things that people can do. But a lot of our people, we are talking about going digital, going online, going e-commerce. But you know, there are some of us who are sitting and wondering, so what exactly do we need to do? Where do I start? How do I scale up? How do I go digital? How expensive is it? Who do I talk to? And you can also tell us whether, are you the man that can help us? Are you the savior?
Okay, that's a very good question, Mr. Dr. David. The issue of online, it remains the cheapest form of advertisement. Remember, compared to the other media, which is a small business person. Me, I like to work with someone starting from the small business or scratch, because most of the people, that's the hardest place to start, because you want to get out of the business, you're already employed, and you have to start the business. But me, I still remain saying online is the cheapest to compare, because for example, in social media, you can spend like $1 in a day, which is almost 100 to reach almost 5,000 people, which is very hard for any media, mainstream media, to afford in a 100 shillings to cover the same amount of number. Remember the phone solution. We are working now. We are in era about most of the people are consuming and everything you are doing in phone. So it's, remember the organization and the channel online. They are still there open. They are trying to customize in everything based on phone solution. For example, if you want to start a business, it's so free now. There's a lot of free trainings operating through mobile, whereby you can try to use like YouTube and everything. The information that's still in the online, whereby you can start it, because starting on online is a free service. So it's so easy. You can pick it. Now, don't ignore about the TikTok, which is the most than people nowadays. If, for example, I've been there for some time doing online business. When I noted something, we started information of timeline about writing a text. Then we moved to images. Now we are moving in videos. Now I encourage small business entrepreneur with a simple tool like phone and write. You can take a very nice video compared to this one we are doing right now. It's possible. Already me, myself, I take my video and go there to Combine Kenya. You can see all the video and testimony done to my customers are just done with my single phone. So my customers and everybody, and a simple person who started with a business, don't be afraid that it will cost you. It's a very costly affair. This thing is very simple. It's straightforward. You need only to have a little knowledge to how to navigate and position yourself with the right people. Definitely your position will be better in front of all customers. Now, if, for example, you need more training and more about it, we can try to help you and try to sort of, remember, e-commerce is all about not individual shop, but it's a combination of every different merchant, bringing them together. Remember, it's very hard for an organization to run e-commerce, so you need to partner. So that day we came here, we do a lot of training for our merchant, enable them to sell and make sure. Remember, our site has end-to-end point, whereby the customer can see the traffic and the payment. On the other side, the merchant can see the flow of the orders are trickling to their website on their end. Remember, on the other side of the point of the office and administration, they can see and make sure, and with a dedicated team, I have a good, by the way, very dedicated team, work closely with me, and we try to sort of the customer needs. Remember, something I noted about online people and other space you do. One of the mistakes you do, kindly remember of data protection. That's a very key thing. Remember, the government is in front line about data protection. I want to say one of the mistakes I run people, new business owners, this is to put a WhatsApp group. Kindly remember our strategy on making. You have to personalize a message to a person. Remember, the customer is already aware. If you plan to broadcast and share the information based on issue you broadcast, so it sounds the customer is a very negative impression to your customer. So kindly request, if you are starting a business, kindly you can write down the names of your customers, segment them according to their needs. That one will try to push you. Now, when the business is low, you just pull out the data and try to reach them at your own time. That's the issue I can talk about online space. And I tell you, come all we get into online space, then you get a better share.
Thank you so much. Werobi, we truly appreciate that. Those are great nuggets that can be able to help individuals who wants to go to e-commerce or go for digital space in terms of the operationalization of business. You know, my brother Moradi, last one but not least, this guy called Philip Kotler. You know, he said that when you don't market, you are like winking at a lady in the night. Yes. Because a good scene. And you are doing branding, you help people do those things. What do you tell business people? What do you encourage us as a business community to do? Because I see even at the WhatsApp group that Nyambura keeps encouraging us, a number of us don't take advantage of it. What is your advice?
Well, thank you, David. What I can tell each one of you who is listening to me today is that you can assume that people know what you do, but it's not true. So you just have to look for ways to make yourself known to others. Find ways according to your budget. If you cannot do an event, if you cannot do even a simple business card or even a diary, like during this season, you can use a diary just to say thank you. You know, you can do an umbrella. You can do a notebook, something that will make somebody to remember you, because there is competition. So mwenye ako mbele anaonekana, the one who can be seen is the one who is going to get the business. So I'll just tell and urge everyone, if you can brand yourself, look for a way to just have a small budget on branding. Coca-Cola uses, I think, like 30% of their revenues on just branding. And that's why I'm sure this month everybody has taken a Coca-Cola somewhere. If you didn't take it, you saw it somewhere. Thank you.
All right. This has been very insightful, very educative. At the same time, I want to believe that our members have really, really benefited from your immense wisdom as you share about your personal experiences, as you talked about your own business. You know, we are finding areas to relate because, you know, those of us who are watching from different places, they're able to identify with some of the things that you have talked about. And I'm sure the learning has been great. The opportunity to pick up things for 2022 has been great as well. And I want to wish everyone the very best, even as we go to the next year. And because we won't meet again, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas.
Yes, when you go to US, you say hi to Biden. You know each other.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you again for the opportunity to be a part of this great discussion. I want to believe that we have learned quite a bit. I want to believe that we have benefited from the wisdom of the panelists. And what I'll do now is just to do a recap for about 10-15 minutes, and then we shall be done. We have been talking about looking to 2021 or looking back to 2021 so that we can be able to know just what we need to do in 2022. And we all know, ladies and gentlemen, that Kenya's economy has been hurt very immensely by COVID-19 pandemic. In 2022, our GDP growth was expected to decelerate to 1.4% from 5.4 in 2019, you can imagine, but it finally did, according to World Bank statistics, it finally did a negative of 0.3. And that impacts business growth supported by agriculture, while weaknesses in service and industry caused the dampening effect and the experiences that we saw in a lot of our businesses that you have heard from the panelists talking that things were not as good as they had planned. Some reduced their revenues by up to 70%. And actually from statistics, it went to as high as 93%. Domestic demand is subdued, while external demand has neither helped nor hurt growth. Inflation is expected to ease to 5.1 because of lower aggregate demand. I know the government is doing quite a bit, but there is still much to be done so that our businesses can be able to prosper going to 2022. Now, looking to 2022, the growth outlook for Kenya is very positive, I must say, even despite the fact that we have election coming up in August. The growth rate of the country is still very positive. The economy is projected to grow by 5.0 was projected rather to grow by 5.0 in 2021 and 5.9 in 2022. And some have projected that it won't actually be 5.9, it will be 6.6. Remember, coming from a very dismal performance in 2020 to a much improved 2021. If we score 5.9 in 2022, it shall for real be a great year. And every business person should be very optimistic, should put serious plans in place going forward so that we can be able to take advantage of what will be happening. Now, the country is reopening after almost 2 years. I think this is not news. We all know that. And the economic recovery strategy put in place by government is working. I am hoping that all of us have been vaccinated, and if you have not, please do. It will really help us. But you know, there are serious measures that government is putting in place to just make sure you style up and go for a vaccine. Inflation is projected to remain within the Central Bank of Kenya's target range of 2.5 to 7.5, which basically means that going forward, if actually the inflation is 2.5, then certainly you will be able to make more with your money. You can be able to do more with your money. You can be able to buy more with your money. And if it goes to 7.5, 7.5 is a lot high. We've been doing an average of almost 6. I think if it is 7.5, then that will be slightly high, but it's still not too bad, considering that some other countries have actually had inflations that have gone far beyond even 20%. Now, however, downside risk to the outlook could emanate from delays in the full reopening of the economy. We are not fully reopened. Of course, we know curfews are still there, here and there. We know the economy is not functioning the way it was before. We also know that businesses are not running the way they were before. We know even institutions are not functioning the way it was before. So there are downsides that we need to be very careful about. And failure to secure external financing, I'm not saying that we will fail to secure external financing, but just in case, to execute budget, a slowdown in global growth. We know the pandemic is still happening all over the world, and disruptive social conditions during the run-up to the 2022 elections. Kenyans have got this thing about elections that every time we are going to an election, we politicize everything, and this is very unfortunate. I want to encourage us to slow down, you know, this politics. And as we are in business, please focus on your business. Focus on your business. It won't help you. I know generally, you know, there is a business of politics, or the politics in business. There are those dimensions, but I want to encourage people that there is life after politics. And we in business, we need to focus more on our business. Now, what sectors are to watch in 2022? And I'll spend a lot more minutes so that I can be able to share with us a couple of things that maybe as a business person you can be able to do going forward. Businesses to watch. By the way, there is a lot of research that has been done, not only by Kenyans, but also by outsiders as they look at the economic outlook of the country. World Bank has done quite a bit. Africa Development Bank has done quite a bit. And these publications are available for free online, if only you can be able to search them. Now, what are the opportunities? Real estate suffered a lot in 2020, and even now it hasn't fully recovered. But you'll remember from as early as 2016, when central bank introduced interest capping, not very many people got the opportunity to take loans to buy properties, and the real estate has been on a slow trend. But I want to let you know that coming next year, 2022, the pundits in the real estate industry are actually projecting that there will be growth. So some of us who are in business, some of us who are in real estate, please, you need to be able to think a lot more. You need to be able to retool yourself a lot more. You need to be able to network with so many other people to be able to take advantage of that. But there is something else about real estate that I need to mention. You know, this year, a lot of people in real estate experience a slug. Now, but that is for people who are at the low end of that pyramid. I was discussing with some guys just about 2 weeks ago, and I was very impressed. You know, properties in this town that are going for 20 million and above, and actually our company, Lanex Africa, we did a survey in Nairobi and in Mombasa to just see properties of between 20 and 30 million, how they were faring. And to our rude shock, they were being bought. And further, they were being bought for cash. You know, people paying the full amount, even though some of the properties were not properly developed. So it means even as you operate in that real estate space, you basically need to know who are your audience, who is your target group, how do you reach them, how do you network with them, what can you develop that suits them, and that kind of stuff. So yes, real estate is to watch come 2022. Agriculture is immense. I don't I lack words to explain what will happen in agriculture. You know, in 2021, due to the effects of global warming, there has been a lot of suffering in agriculture because, you know, the rains are not there, and people in the agri-business space and in agriculture generally have suffered, including myself. I am a farmer, if you didn't know that. So I have experienced this climate change and the drought, which has affected one of our businesses. Now, but in 2022, agribusiness and agriculture in general will actually do very well. Now, it is projected through research that this is an industry that is running into several trillions of shillings. And when we talk about agriculture and agribusiness, we are talking about the full supply chain, from farming all the way to value addition, all the way to taking the goods to the consumer. There is a lot that needs to happen. Now, but you know, manufacturing in general is not doing very well in Kenya. Actually, it contributes 7% of Kenya's GDP. And that is very dismal. But I want to encourage Kenyans and business people that the opportunity is real. And you have a partner who can work with you and who can listen to you and who can travel the journey with you. So you don't have to suffer. You can go to the bank for asset financing. You can go to the bank to support even your agribusiness ventures. You can go to the bank to work with you. And you have heard from the panelists that we had here a few minutes ago that they have gotten real help, not political help, real help from the bank, and they have been assisted, and their businesses are running very effectively because of that. So agriculture is big, agriculture is great, agriculture will continue to do very well going forward, and you just need to be there. Technology is amazing, and technology is divided into two. There is the information technology, and then there is communication part of the technology. Now, the research that was done by one US company in Kenya put the market value for technology in Kenya outside of communication part at about 100 billion. Yeah, I think it was something like 100 billion. I'm trying to remember whether it was dollars or shillings, but it is in that range. It is a huge market. You know, as a business person, if you just target, don't be so greedy. If you just target, if it is 100 billion, even if it is Kenya shillings, and you just target 1% market share, you know, 1% market share of 100 billion is 1 billion. Can you imagine? Your life will change. I can prophesy that your life will change. And you will completely change it. Now, when you incorporate communication into the technology, it goes to trillions of shillings. And that is why Safaricom is making a lot of money. And there is what to be able to talk about in terms of communication technology. You know, they say if you want to succeed, work with people who are successful. Now, you may not start another Safaricom because it is very expensive to do. I'm not too sure whether the bank can give you those billions of shillings to start, but they might if you qualify. But you can be able to do something that goes hand in hand with technology. So even though you are not starting another Safaricom or another Airtel or another Telcom, you can be able to do something that works alongside them so that as they prosper, you also prosper. But this technology has been proven. It has actually been proven to be worth trillions of dollars. And you can be able to align yourself in one way. You can be able to align yourself to be able to tap into that kind of money, even if it is just 1%. Okay, and you can be able to do it elsewhere. I like one of the panelists, he said that he's not just looking at Kenya, he's looking far beyond. And when it comes to technology, we can actually go far beyond. I know of a Kenyan company that is doing technology and has gone all the way to Ghana, and they have operations in Ghana. You can do that. You can also do one more thing, follow KCB. KCB is not only in Kenya, it's also in the region. You can actually work with the bank and just say, wherever you go, I come with you. You associate. There is a proverb that says when you associate with the lame, you learn to limp. Now, we don't want you to associate with the lame so that you learn to limp. You associate with great people and you become great. So associate with KCB, go to where they have gone, go to South Sudan, go to Rwanda, go to Uganda, those areas where they have gone, and you'll be able to be a big time success. It is very important, ladies and gentlemen, that we do this as a people. Now, infrastructure is the other, and I don't need to emphasize this. Actually, again, from research, infrastructure is worth 6.5 trillion. This one I'm very particular and I'm very specific. I know it. 6.5 trillion Kenya shillings. 6.5 trillion. Now, I know a good chunk of that is taken up by some guys called Chinese, and they're our brothers. They're here so that we learn from them. But you can be able to find meaningful ways and discover ways of doing it. I like one of the participants, the panelists, he said, when you are given something, make sure you are excellent, because one of the reasons why we don't get these big contracts as Kenyans is that we do shoddy work. We don't do a good thing. We don't do quality work. And therefore, we don't take advantage of opportunities in our country because we are not inclined to doing a good job. So please, the next time you get one small opportunity, even if it is a small opportunity of 500,000, no, maybe not 500,000, but 600,000. I was told to do a kilometer of a road, a RAV road is 600,000. So if you get that opportunity of a RAV road of 600,000, do your best. Do your best. Because that best will attract several kilometers, and that best will attract even higher dimensions of infrastructure, including tarmac, including bypasses that we are seeing all over the place that are coming up in Nairobi and in Mombasa and in Kisumu and other places. So it is important that we become exceptionally good. I want to encourage Kenyans and business people in particular, please follow the scriptures. It is written that whatsoever your hand finds to do, you work at it with all your heart, with all excellence. You work at it as though your life will come to an end after you finish it. So please, let's have a legacy of excellence. Let's have a track record of excellence in everything that we do, so that we can be able to attract this 6.5 trillion. 10% of 6.5 trillion, just 10% is 650 billion Kenya shillings. 650. 1%, because you are saying you are not a wicked man, you don't want to become rich alone, you go for 1%. That is still 65 trillion Kenya shillings. 65 billion Kenya shillings. And 0.1% is still in billions. Can you imagine? So there is space for all of us to shine and space for all of us to do business there if we can be able to do quite a bit and do the things that will attract business. Energy is big time. There is a lot of discussion on energy, and I'm very aware that GIZ, for example, this global development organization of the German company, they are doing quite a bit in supporting businesses around Africa who are doing energy, and particularly solar. And there is a lot of admonition for people to use solar because, first of all, it is green. And then, the initial cost of establishing it is a little bit high, but over time it becomes very cheap. So you find buildings that are now on solar, homes that are now on solar, and you can be able to run your business again on solar. Now, this is great business opportunity for business people. You can be able to partner with those guys who make solar, and you can also make solar. There is no reason why we must always think of importing or think that we don't have the capacity or we don't have the knowledge or we don't have the know-how to be able to do some of these things. So energy, especially when it comes to solar, is still to watch in 2022. And I think it's a great opportunity for people who may want to go there, and it will really, really help you. Now, tourism is another one. It will rebound big time. I know we, as a country, we have suffered quite a bit over the last couple of years, first from insecurity, the terror insecurity that were there, the travel advisory which was given by government. There has been a lot that has made the tourism sector suffer. But you know what? Just a few weeks ago, I went to Masai Mara. I went to Masai Mara myself, and it was packed. I am impressed. The park was packed. So it means, and it was not packed just by Kenyans. There were actually a lot of tourists from other countries who were there, which means actually the hotel I stayed was full. Can you imagine? And there is a lot that is happening in the tourism. And you have heard from our cabinet secretary in charge of tourism talking about tourism a lot, and also projecting that there will be a lot happening. Hotels are rebounding, hotels are coming back, and there is a lot that is happening there. You may want to do your investment there. Don't fear. You know, one of the reasons why you don't need to fear, again, it is in scripture. It is written that he who watches the wind will actually suffer poverty. You know, if you lift up your eyes to look at the skies and you look, it's an open sky, and you don't plant, then you will suffer for sure. But you need to move in faith and in the confidence of the cabinet secretary in charge of tourism, and just invest, okay? If it backfires, then you will go into history that at least you tried something. Because sometimes we go into history having not tried anything. And it is important that we go into that. Now, these are some of the few that I picked, but if you look at it, and I have been following, you know, by the way, if you want to know the opportunities, there are a few organizations you need to follow. You know, the Can Invest is doing a lot of research in this country in terms of investment opportunities, and they are interesting foreigners. So the other day, I went to the, I was just Googling to find out what are our embassies doing outside the country and what kind of promotions are they doing. And I was very impressed that in Germany, in Belgium, to be very specific, even in the Netherlands, some of the exciting proposals of the investment opportunities in this country are actually shared by our foreign embassies outside to those foreigners, interesting them to come. Now, so people are being interested to come and invest. You are already here. So you are not traveling. You don't need a visa. You don't need to board an aeroplane. You don't need anything. All that money for the visa and for the airplane and for everything, you put it together as part of the seed capital to do some of these business ventures. And besides, we have all agreed that the bank is here to work with us. I particularly like this partner qua ground. I like it because it resonates with what we do on the ground on a day-to-day basis. It resonates to the smallest of us. It resonates to the medium of us. It resonates to us, whichever level you are, and we can be able to walk to the bank and tell them that we want to travel together. Otherwise, I truly, truly appreciate the opportunity, and I want to wish every person who is watching from wherever you're watching an excellent 2022. And because I won't tell you again, Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Asante sana.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tanki, for summarizing it so well, and even going a step further to share areas to watch out in 2022. It really is an eye-opener. I also want to share some comments that are coming through on our chat. Somebody says, I have learned a lot from the training, Bonan Consult. Thank you very much. Somebody else says, we hope that 2022 will be the year to grow our businesses. We surely do. Creativeness and innovativeness is the thin line to crack 2022 and to build resilient businesses. How true? This is very, very true. Networking is key. This has come out very, very passionately in this conversation today. KCB has taught me to learn and earn. Wow, thank you. Thank you for those very, very encouraging comments. And now, even as we come to a close of this session, I wish to thank you all for honoring this invitation and taking time away from your busy schedules to attend. We greatly appreciate your patronage and look forward to deepening and broadening this relationship. As reiterated by our Retail Banking Director, Mrs. Anastasia Kimtai, KCB remains committed to serving and building MSMEs. We strive to provide end-to-end solutions so that we meet your needs and fulfill your growth aspirations. Together, let us make things better. We therefore are committed to work together with you, to be your partner qua ground, and to support you and enable you reach the next level of your financial goals. I would like to sincerely thank our panelists for being very vulnerable, open, and transparent, even as you shared your experiences. I would like to commend our keynote speaker and discussion lead, Mr. David Tanki. Thank you for leading the discussion and sharing your captivating and insightful nuggets. These discussions were all very insightful, and we thank you all for participating. I take this opportunity to convey our hearty thanks to the entire organizing team that worked tirelessly to ensure today's webinar was a success. Keep up, and let's commit to even do better webinars in future. With these few remarks, I want to thank you once again for joining this session, and my hope is that you have picked up some new skills and tools that will help you grow your business in 2022. Enjoy the rest of the day and stay safe. Thank you.
Biashara Club is the link that entrepreneurs require to move far. We give the members an opportunity to connect with other like-minded entrepreneurs. They discuss on how to better their businesses, the lessons they have learned along the way, become each other's customers or even suppliers. We do capacity building to ensure our entrepreneurs are commercially aware of what's going on around them, how the environment is constantly changing, how regulations are going to affect their businesses. Trainings on soft skills, management, leadership, and succession planning, ensuring our businesses are inspiration and will be going concerns for centuries to come. We expose entrepreneurs to new markets, see how things are done differently, and creation of new ideas, how they can export or import, forming regional and international partnerships. Our vision is to grow a network of people who we walk with on their entrepreneurial journeys to see them expand and succeed. Biashara Club is the link that entrepreneurs require to move far. We give the members an opportunity to connect with other like-minded entrepreneurs. They discuss on how to better their businesses, the lessons they have learned along the way, become each other's customers or even suppliers. We do capacity building to ensure our entrepreneurs are commercially aware of what's going on around them, how the environment is constantly changing, how regulations are going to affect their businesses. Trainings on soft skills, management, leadership, and succession planning, ensuring our businesses are inspiration and will be going concerns for centuries to come. We expose entrepreneurs to new markets, see how things are done differently, and creation of new ideas, how they can export or import, forming regional and international partnerships. Our vision is to grow a network of people who we walk with on their entrepreneurial journeys to see them expand and succeed.